This is the new Cervélo S5 disc of Team Sunweb. Cervélo replacing the previous sponsor Giant for 2019. And let's have a look at the bike, which is probably the most strikingly different in the complete World Tour selection. So the frame has actually taken a complete redesign and overhaul compared to its predecessor, although at first look it may not look like that. And strikingly, most people actually at first glance think that the bike looks really high at the front end because of the upward sloping stem. But in actual fact, the bike's got longer and lower than before, thanks to feedback from professional riders. So if we look at the down tube of the frame, you can see there's a cutout where the front wheel goes, and that's in order to get the front wheel just a little bit closer to the tubing to optimise the airflow. And well, the seat tube still has that cutout for the rear wheel too, but it has got a little bit slimmer, as has the actual tubing profile of it, and the seat post therefore has got a little bit narrower too. Okay, let's move on then to the front end of the bike, because that is radically different from the previous model. Firstly, we've got an external steerer tube, because normally a fork steerer tube runs inside of the head tube, but in this case, by doing that, they can actually have a narrower head tube, therefore more aerodynamic, and also apparently it's 13% stiffer too. Now, many people out there will actually wonder how on earth you would set the headset preload tension. Well, there's actually a rod which runs here from the back of the fork crown up and into the head tube where it actually meets the top tube, and it's set that way. It's nicely hidden away actually. Now, what about the handlebar and stem then? Because this is where it's totally different again from any other bike we're seeing in the World Tour. It's a Y-shaped affair, and it is in fact a two-piece setup, which means that customization is going to be a lot easier than a one-piece integrated unit, because you can have different length stems from 90mm to 130, and also bars from 38 to 42. Now, if that's not enough for customization, you can also rotate the bars slightly, so you can have them in 0 degrees, 2.5 degrees, and 5 degrees too, through some clever shims and arrangements here where they mount into the stem. And if that's not enough for customization, why not change your headset spacers too? So with all the refinements in aerodynamics on this bike, including fully internally routed cables, the savings are 5.5 watts at 40 kilometers per hour. But at the same time, they've also focused on stiffness too. And I've already mentioned that the head tube is 13% stiffer. And that bottom bracket, well, that is big and chunky. And this is going to be music to every sprinter on the team's ears. It's 25% stiffer than before. 25%! Now, if aerodynamics are really your thing and you don't get that thirsty out riding, well, you can actually move the bottle cage on the down tube to a different position, so slightly further towards the bottom bracket. Of course, that means you won't be able to use the other bottle cage, but apparently, according to their test, that will make it slightly more aerodynamic. Now, the bike is actually only available for disc brakes, so those die-hard rim brake lovers of you, if you want one, you're going to have to make the change, I'm afraid. The group set, Shimano Dura-Ace 9170, which is, of course, their disc brake group set and is electronically controlled gears. Speaking about the gearings then, it's the pretty much pro standard 5339 chain rings, 1128 cassette, and this bike in particular belongs to Joris Nieuwenhuis, and it's got 175mm length cranks on it. Now, the power meter, that comes from Shimano, and it's the R9100P, which is dual-sided, and in order for it to fit inside of the oversized BB right bottom bracket shell, there's a rotor cup placed in position to accommodate that. The wheels come from Shimano and fitted onto Joris's bike right now are the C60s, but of course that can change depending on the weather conditions and also the rider weight and their style and also just their individual preferences. Tyres, they're Continental Pro Limited in 25mm, and apparently the bike can accommodate up to 30mm, but it's going to be pretty close because the clearances aren't that big. Now, finishing touches include pro handlebar tape, a Sigma Rocks computer, which is secured as well with a lanyard there, so in the event of a crash, you're not going to lose it. The Di2 junction box is really neatly inside of the handlebar end plug there. That's one of my favourite little bits you can do. And also, saddles are from Pro, and of course, that's a rider's choice. Bottle cages, they come from Elite, and these ones are the Custom Race Plus model. Now, sadly, I don't actually know Joris's height. I haven't been able to measure him yet, but he does ride a size 56cm bike. But his saddle to centre of bottom bracket measurement, well, the distance there is 78cm. And the tip of the saddle to the centre of the bars is a whopping 60cm, and his saddle to bar drop is 11cm. Right, time for the free hub sound check, Shimano Dura-Ace 9170 hub. Let's have a listen. And the weight of it, including a couple of empty water bottles, 7.93 kilos. So there we are, the Cervélo S5 disc of Joris Nieuwenhuis and Team Sunweb for 2019. Let me know what you think of it in the comments section below, because I think the external steerer tube and the Y-shaped handlebars are going to create a bit of a debate. Don't forget to like and share this video with your friends, and also check out the GCN shop at shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com. For another great video, click on the saddle, and while I'm going to take a sit on the saddle. All the best.